Here it says, this is a statement from today from the executive committee. In every CBA negotiation, the goal of the league.
The WNBPA spent months claiming the players were fully aligned, united, and ready to hold firm, only for two of their own vice presidents to send a letter that said the exact opposite, and it leaked to ESPN. The union, once portrayed as unshakable, collapsed publicly, and the timing could not have been worse for anyone involved. Should the WNBPA leadership resign in the wake of this very public embarrassment, or can they still steer the CBA negotiations to a successful conclusion before the March 10th deadline? Let's break down what happened clearly, because even just the summary is embarrassing enough.
Members who seem to have not been able to get any information for a full year, all the way up until January, from the president, Nneka Ogwumike. When you say the league and the team's goal is to divide the players, I don't think they had to do anything to divide the players. I think you guys, as leaders, have done a poor job, which is why a bunch of the players have come out and said you guys are being selfish and greedy.
For months, the WNBPA projected an image of unity to the public. Every press appearance, every social media update, and every leadership interview echoed the same message. The players were aligned, focused, and standing together. With Nneka Ogwumike as president and Terry Carmichael Jackson as executive director, the union appeared organized and in control at the negotiating table. But then Kelsey Plum and Breanna Stewart, two vice presidents on the executive committee tasked with guiding the union, sent a 3-page letter to Jackson expressing frustration that they had been left out of the loop and unaware of the real developments in the negotiations.
50% of net revenue, which is less than 15% of gross revenue, in an 8-year deal, or asked the union to keep negotiating. 84% said no, I would not accept 15% and want the union to keep negotiating. Okay, that this is what they're saying they gathered from their survey. I don't know if this is, I don't know. Like, I think Nneka Ogwumike and them are full of it, to be honest with you. Like, how can we believe anything she say? Like, we've had Breanna Stewart and all of these people talking about they're on the same accord and all of this stuff, and then they write a letter talking about saying the exact opposite of everything they claim to be going on and to be happening. So I take this with a grain of salt. I don't believe anything the WNBPA is putting out right now. I don't know if Nneka Ogwumike could have drew this letter up in her kitchen and had it posted up on the WNBPA social handles. We don't know. We don't know.
The letter didn't leak to some minor blog or secondary sports outlet. It went straight to ESPN, the nation's biggest sports media platform. That means the contents are now public, and everyone, the league, team owners, fans, every union player, and every agent advising their clients, has seen a detailed account of the WNBPA's internal fracture straight from its own leadership. This is a textbook example of a self-inflicted wound playing out in real time.
Has emerged victorious in its battle against the Players Association. While you have not read that there has been a settlement, while you have not seen an agreement and the start of the WNBA season, I am guaranteeing you that Adam Silver and the other WNBA owners will emerge victorious from this negotiation, because the WNBPA, the Players Association, is an outright mess. Just yesterday, Kelsey Plum and Breanna Stewart wrote a letter to the Players Union executive director, a woman named Terry Jackson, who's been there for years and has done, in their mind, a very good job, wrote a letter basically saying, you don't talk to us. Quoting Barbra Streisand and Neil Diamond, you don't bring us flowers anymore. It used to be so natural for us to talk, but used to be's don't count anymore.
David Sampson, a seasoned veteran of professional sports management who understands the mechanics of negotiations at every level, didn't mince words about the situation. He claimed the NBA has effectively already won this battle, not because a deal has been finalized or the league made an irresistible offer, but because the union is publicly fractured so close to the deadline that the outcome is essentially decided. Only the specific terms remain uncertain. Sampson also highlighted the significance of the March 10th deadline, which wasn't based on any contractual or operational requirement. Adam Silver set the date during All-Star Weekend intentionally, knowing that a looming deadline would expose and intensify the union's internal fractures. He announced it, stepped back, and watched exactly what he anticipated unfold exactly as he anticipated.
Silver stands up and says there's a deadline on March 10th. You better get a deal done or we're not going to be able to get the season underway and we're going to have a real problem. All of a sudden, the players' union seems fractured. First, you get a story that comes out is now, while they had voted to approve a strike, now there could be some dissension in the ranks about whether or not they should call for a strike. There seems to be some dissension within the ranks about whether what the WNBA is offering at the table should be accepted in large part so that they can get their season going. There is absolute panic on behalf of the players.
In response to the leaked letter, the union called a players' meeting, an ironic move for an organization that had spent months publicly insisting on complete unity. Now, they had to assemble their members to confront a document that exposed the cracks in that unity, all while ESPN covered the meeting live. The situation was the organizational equivalent of claiming the house is solid, only to have the roof collapse during the press conference. It's worth taking a closer look at the executive committee's official statement, which began by noting that in every CBA negotiation, the statement emphasized that the league and teams aim to divide the players and insisted that the union remains focused and united. It referenced a survey in which 84 of respondents said they would reject the league's current offer of 50 of net revenue, less than 15 of gross revenue over an 8-year deal. The statement claimed that nothing has shifted, that the players are determined and standing together, and it closed with the declaration that there is no WNBA without the players. The issue isn't with any single assertion itself, but that the same leadership team releasing this message had just been accused in a leaked letter from Kelsey Plum and Breanna Stewart of failing to communicate with the executive committee throughout the negotiations. This raises the question, if the 84 survey is accurate, is the union truly as unified as the statement claims? Either the union is genuinely united in rejecting the league's current proposal, or two of its vice presidents were sufficiently frustrated to draft a 3-page letter to the executive director that eventually became public. Both cannot be true as the statement portrays. The survey cited in the statement has also faced criticism. The question posed, would you accept the league's offer of 50 of net revenue, less than 15 of gross over an 8-year deal, was framed to emphasize the most negative interpretation of the proposal. Asking players to respond yes or no to a question designed to make the offer appear inadequate is not an impartial survey. It is essentially a push-poll. And when the organization releasing the results has already shown, given the union's lack of transparency with its own leadership, treating the survey results as a trustworthy reflection of member sentiment demands a level of confidence the WNBPA has not earned. This is not an argument in favor of the league's offer. The gap between the players' demands and the league's proposal remains substantial. The dispute over a gross revenue share versus a net revenue model represents a meaningful difference in how the financial relationship between players and ownership should be structured. Those disagreements are valid, yet the way the players' leadership has conducted the negotiation has weakened their position. Each time they publicly claimed unity that didn't exist, they handed the league additional leverage to counter their arguments. Every time Breanna Stewart, Kelsey Plum, or another player publicly declared that the team was united, while privately sending letters revealing months of missing information, the union's credibility took another hit. In negotiations, credibility is everything. Once your public claims don't align with private reality, the other side no longer takes your statement seriously. Adam Silver and the league's owners are fully aware of this, which is why Sampson argued that Silver has effectively already won. The ongoing conflict of interest concerns also deserve closer scrutiny. Both Breanna Stewart and Nneka Agume, vice presidents of the WNBPA, are co-founders of Unrivaled, the new off-season basketball league launched this past year.